Welcome to Says the Brown Girl. My name is Diamond, and I'm a brown girl with a voice who doesn't mind being heard. So listen up, I've got a word, and it might be just for you. Today's poem is entitled Make Time for Me, written by myself. Here it goes. For as long as the sun shines, I hope you make time for me. Even when your calendar fills with ink marks of events you plan to attend or see, I hope your passion for me continues to flow just as the waters in the sea. And even when the sun hides behind the clouds and color fades from your blue jeans, I hope you know that I'm always here waiting for you to return to me. I hope you never become too busy to turn me into a distant memory. As much as you hate to admit it, I want you, but you need me. Thank you. Hi everyone. I know it's been a little while since I have been up here, and that is exactly what this poem was inspired by. Since starting Says the Brown Girl, I've had a lot of support, but I lost hindsight of that, just getting discouraged from people not listening to my podcast. But you know what? I am back. I am determined to be consistent. I am determined to return to my commitment that I've made. As the poem Make Time for Me says, my podcast is always going to be here. This is my outlet. I created this. I started this. This is something that I put my time and my effort into, and it's not going to go anywhere. It's waiting for me to come back to it. Get what I'm saying? And so my question to you is, what have you started that you haven't finished yet? What have you said you were going to commit to, but you have now just pushed it away, whether it be for lack of motivation or you've gotten too busy, you've gotten more on your plate than you can handle? Go back to that thing, search it out, and make time for it. You make time for what you want to make time for, and that is very true. That is very true. If you wanted to, you would empty your schedule, you would cross out those events on your calendar and make time for what you want to do. Instead, we prioritize maybe something else makes us a little bit more happier, or we just don't feel like doing that committed thing that we said we were going to do. Maybe people have left our lives that made us change our mind about it. But if you have promised yourself to do something, or you promised someone to do something, you should stick to it. For me, I was talking about this podcast that I have and me writing my poems. However, as I was writing this poem, I was also relating it to my spiritual life as well. How this could be from the point of view of God saying, return to me. You've marked all these things on your calendar, you have all these things on your to-do list, but I am not a part of it, and I want to be a part of it. The end of the poem, that's my favorite part. As much as you hate to admit it, I want you, but you need me. And that just goes to say that yes, God wants us. My podcast wants to be done. However, there's a difference between wanting something and needing something. When you want something, that's just a desire, and it could be temporary. But when you need something, it's like it's essential. It's essential to live. It's essential to your life. You have to have it. Without it, you are just not complete. And that is what really my podcast is for me, because that's my outlet. So if I am not expressing myself through my outlet, then where am I expressing myself to? If this is my true happiness and gives me peace, what am I expressing? What am I doing with those feelings that are bottled up? What am I doing with them? And then in the spiritual walk, God wants you to come to him, yes, but he's not going to beg you and plead you It is your choice. It is your decision. He wants you, but you need him. You know, you can't live without him. He wants you, but he's not going to beg for you. My podcast is not going to beg me for it to get done. In a literal sense, it's not. It's really not going to beg me. If it does, that will be a problem. However, I have to come, it has to come from the heart. It has to come within yourself. You have to make up in your mind that yes, I am committed. Yes, I am determined. Yes, I am going to do this. I want this for myself. I have to do this. I need to do this. And that is when you will become committed to doing it. You will take that charge upon yourself and stick to it and complete it, not because of what other people think, but because it's for yourself, because it completes you. And so I would just like to apologize to my listeners who have missed 2 weeks of my podcast. I would like to apologize to you for falling behind, for not staying consistent, for not being committed to what I started, because I plan on finishing what I started. And this podcast, it will never be complete. But you know what? I'm not looking for my podcast to be complete. I'm looking to be complete, and the podcast completes me. It gives me peace, it gives me joy, and I find my peace and my joy in my podcast. And if I'm not doing my podcast, my peace and joy is just floating out there waiting for me to grab it, and I'm here to seize it. So find what you said you were going to commit to. What hobbies, what tasks did you say you were going to complete? Are you going to go back to school? Or are you going to complete another degree? Are you going to get into knitting? Are you going to work out? Are you going to lose weight, get into shape? What are you going to do? Change your eating habits? What did you say you were going to do, but you just totally pushed it aside? I want you to grab that thing, bring it back, and bring it into fruition, and find someone to hold you accountable for your actions. That's how you really succeed. If someone is reminding you of what you promised yourself, it will hold you accountable. It will make you responsible for completing that task. And that's all I have for you. This is Brown Girl signing out.